I got caught trafficking and survived 9 years. Okay, nigga went to the can.
Killed every which way you can imagine. Electrocuted, hacked
worst
dead,
prison.
blown up, people shot in the face, shot in the head, decapitated. If anybody says, oh, how many? I don't know. I did lose count.
Hold on, like, comment, subscribe, follow the kick.
I was born in Stroud.
I was about to start bunning before the 30 seconds. 30 seconds is hit, so we good. Like, comment, subscribe, follow the kick, follow the Twitch. We on all that shit.
In 1976, grew up in a small village called Avening, right out in the countryside, just next door to Princess Anne's estate at Gatcombe Park. Our family didn't really have a great deal of money. You know, my dad was a gardener. All the kids on the council estate viewed my family as hippie type family, which I suppose they were to some extent. My dad had a big beard, used to smoke some pot, you know, usual sort of stuff that
I'm a hippie.
Hippies
Big
do.
beard.
I was probably getting stoned from the day I was born, you know, passive smoke. I remember as a really young kid, before
Black hippie right here. All that.
my sister was born at the age of 4, being taken into rooms where there was loads of smoke, or having to stay out of that room because the adults were doing something in there that I wasn't supposed to see. I was at a party and I remember the day, I can still remember it now quite clearly. I was fed a piece of hash cake, chocolate cake.
Hash cake.
Unbeknownst to my mum, she didn't realise what it was. Well, what it had in it, she just thought it was a chocolate cake because it was someone's birthday, one of my dad's friends.
Sheesh.
So they've handed me this piece of chocolate cake, and yeah, I got pretty damn stoned for a 4-year-old. You can imagine. I mean,
4?
Later on in my life, when my parents
4 years old. Edibles at 4? Bro, that shit is like, if you got, it depends too, like, because some people will be like, I never been high off an edible. You'll meet people that say shit like that. And I was one of them people before. Yeah, bro, motherfucker, if you think them shits don't work, you just ain't had the right one yet. That's all that shit mean. Because I had like 3 before, them shits was not hitting. Yeah, I took one time, panicking. Panicking, nigga. Scariest shit ever. So imagine being 4 years old off of that shit. That shit probably crazy.
went their separate ways at about the age of 10. My mum actually got together with the guy whose birthday party was where I got fed the hash cake. And the 2 older stepbrothers that my mum's new partner had were both into the illegal rave scene.
Yeah, bro, hold on. I don't even fuck with them shits no more. I don't even fuck with the edibles no more. Like, yeah, I don't fuck with them shits. I had a bad trip with one of them shits, bro. I had a bad trip twice. But I done took edibles probably at least 10 times in my life. Only 2 times I got cooked. Yeah, 2 times I got cooked. And the first time I got cooked, I would say 3 times I got cooked. Because I had some lemonade edible drink shit. And that shit kind of cooked me. But it didn't cook me, though. I was good. I was just really high. But the other 2 times I took that shit, bro, it was like, it was too bad. Like, it's a high you can't really fucking control. Like, you know, when you high, you smoking a blunt, you just put the blunt down, you kind of chill, it calms down. Not the edible. Edible was fucking me up for hours, nigga. Hours. I said, yeah, that was the last time. That last time I did it, I say it's over. Never.
The eldest.
No interest in that shit now. No reason to be that fucking high.
He was an up-and-coming local DJ, so he would have been, what, 18, 19? So prime age for going out, raving, doing parties and all the rest of it, you know, all the associated drugs that go with it. And the first one I ever went to was at about the age of 13 or 14 in Stroud, in an old Great Mills warehouse. And I quickly realised that it was very easy to deal drugs in these parties, particularly the ones organised by my stepbrothers and like the local heavy crew, should we say.
Trying to get fucked
My
up.
stepbrothers, if I ever needed anything, I could always pick up the phone and ring them and say, look, do you know anyone, or can you source it and sell it to me? So, you know, they'd always be able to either put me in touch with someone, or they'd have it themselves. And that went for weed, pills, ecstasy, MDMA, powder, crystal. I'd load up with maybe 500 to 1,000 pills every week, maybe 1,000 LSD trips or two, maybe a kilo or two of hash.
How much was it costing you?
Kilo of hash at that time was about $1,000, 800 to £1,000 roughly. Pills, they were selling for like anywhere from 10 to 15 in the raves, £10 normally. We'd normally get them for like 3 or 4, maybe £5, depending on the quality.
You're doing all this through your education.
Yeah.
How did it affect your school?
The sixth form college started to get wind of me dealing, and the police, I think from Cirencester, launched an investigation into me. There's a knock at the door, 8:30 in the morning. You're out in the village. This is unusual. I've got 2.5 ounces of hash on me, cut up into deals, ready to go to college. So I put it down my boxer shorts, open the door, and sure enough, there's a plainclothes police officer there. They arrest me, get taken to Stroud police station, and obviously I'm pretty shocked and surprised and worried about what's going to happen, the consequences, and how this is going to affect my schooling, my A levels. What's my dad going to say? What's my mum going to say? Ended up going before Stroud magistrates, and getting sentenced to, I think it was 6 or 12 months probation.
What did your school think about it all?
So obviously they kicked me out, and they said, look, we know you're fairly gifted academically, we'll cut you a bit of slack, we'll let you sit your exams, but you cannot come into the college. Stop drug dealing, stop going to raves. Got my head down. That got me 4 offers. So I had, as well as 4 A levels, got 4 offers from uni. So I went to university with the full intention of studying archaeology, as it happened. My dad drops me down to Cardiff into the halls of residence. There were a lot of students running around those halls of residence looking for drugs, but couldn't find them. And there's me going, well, actually, I can get everything that you possibly want.
What drove that decision though? You'd think...
Well, dealing drugs is almost more addictive than taking them themselves, can be, because you get addicted to that adrenaline, the excitement of it, the challenge, the outwitting the system, getting around the police. It's a lot of mental chess.
Nah, bro, for sure. I ain't gonna lie. Getting money, like hustling and shit, that shit really is addictive. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I be having to catch myself, because I don't be selling shit there no more, but like I be missing that shit sometimes. Like, damn, so I need to just go get some work. Like I be missing it, but I snap out of it quick because I know that it's not worth it. Like, you feel me? Like, the time, it don't matter the amount of money, the amount of time you're gonna get for that, I'ma get for that shit ain't worth it. So yeah, that's why I don't do it. Like, but that shit was addicting. Like, the fast money is just a thrill in that shit. No cat, he is not fucking lying. But nigga, I just know, like, it ain't fucking worth it, nigga. Doing all that time for nothing. For some crumbs.
Against the system. The financial element comes into it heavily as well. And, for anyone that's ever tried to survive on a student loan without any financial assistance from your family, it's pretty tough. I was like, well, I can flip the student loan, double it, and live a bit easier. That was the idea.
How much easier were you living? How much were you making?
Well, I was making enough to own a car, drive it all over the country, picking up and selling drugs. So, and then, move into a house in Bristol on the other side of the River Severn, so not bad. This was the first point at which I became involved with cocaine. There was one particular student from Southampton area. They wanted cocaine, and they wanted good cocaine. So, as ever, if I'm looking for something that I don't know where to find it, I found my stepbrothers, one of them, and said, look, can you hook me up with a coke dealer back in Stroud? And they said, yep, sure, no problem, here's his number. Well, we'll ring him, make sure it's okay, and then we'll give you the number if it is, which they did, within minutes, probably. And I said, look, there's a big market down here that I can see. Students, money, cocaine, it looks like there's going to be a big market down here, and there's going to be a big demand. He was like, cool, I can supply whatever you need, up to kilos, multiple kilos if necessary. I was like, fine, no worries. And as with everything else, the amounts very quickly started escalating, getting a lot bigger. To the point at which the guy in Stroud said, look, I'm getting worried about this. This is just too much for me. What I'll do is I'll introduce you to my contact, or his contact, sorry, in the Cotswolds, up near Still in the World. So we began up to London 2 or 3 times a week, either taking money back. But every time we took money back, I'd just get more coke anyway. The guys I'm meeting with the cocaine, they're the people that are bringing it in, working with the Medellin cartel, bringing in tons of cocaine.
Sheesh.
The longer you deal drugs, the more risk it is. Every day is one risk too many. And the risks start to become too great, and you know it's closing in around you. So I eventually get a call. I've moved back up to Stroud. The bank balance is looking pretty healthy. There's about 30 or 40 grand in the bank. I drive to the Cotswolds to make a couple of drops, go to Malmesbury, Cirencester, then up into the Cotswolds, do my little milkman's round with drugman's round. And I've got a briefcase that I'm carrying the drugs in, like a doctor's briefcase. And in it, there was at least 1,000 pills, more coke, maybe some hash. A marked police car came up behind the van, followed me for a little bit, blue lights come on. And I thought, traffic stop. Had it before, when I'm carrying drugs, I can bullshit my way out of it. I'll get out of it. Stop the van, and they come up to the window, and straight away they're like, get out. And I was like, oh fuck, this isn't good. There's something obviously quite wrong here.
Yeah, nah, when they do that, yeah, you in trouble. Whenever, shit, when you black driving that shit with car with drugs, nigga, the best thing for you to do is keep going. You better not stop. You better not stop, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie. Them niggas are they searching that shit down there automatically. What?
Straight for the briefcase. Pulls it out. Within seconds, he's got a crowbar and he's jemmied the lock open, and he's gone, oh, look what we found. I went, that's not a chance. And he said, no, you're nicked.
Did you never think you would get caught?
Oh, no, I knew. I mean, I was paranoid as hell. They said, look, we've been targeting you. We had that place under surveillance because we knew you were coming. And what had happened, I suspect, is that in 1998, me and someone were waiting at Marble Arch, the guy from Still in the World, to meet Kevin Hanley. Unbeknownst to us, and unbeknownst to Kevin at this point, they were all under surveillance, massive surveillance by the
And that's how so much niggas, bro, that's how so much people get caught up, bro. Fucking with somebody else, like somebody else be under surveillance and you get caught up in their shit. Like, I done got damn near my whole hood indicted. Not like awesome. Of course, I never told them niggas, but I was selling crack. So I got locked up for the indictment, right? It was 30 something of us. It was a copping crack, copping work. So one of my chops was like my family. He brought the nigga to me. So I chopped the nigga. I chopped him down. I didn't want to chop him. I didn't want to chop him. All right, so serve him. I didn't want to serve him. But he came with like my cousin. My cousin was a fiend. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I serve him. I argue with him and I'm like, you bringing niggas for? He like, nah, he worked with me. So the cop was looking all dirty and shit. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I serve him and shit. Boom, that was the first sale. Boom. So now, the nigga, I take the nigga number. He don't call me for like a month. The cop nigga. He calls me. Yo, comes through. He calls me. I meet him in the same spot where I met him with my cousin. Now he comes alone. I serve him again. Boom. That's 2 sales. So now, yeah, this is all recorded. It's 2 sales. Now I'm fucked. Like, so feel me? 1 sale. So 1 sale is like, it's a felony, but it's like, 1 sale is a felony, but it's like, it's not that bad. Like, you won't go straight to the county. You'll go to like you'll go to like local court and shit for 1 sale. That's what happened to half of my niggas. Cause look, yeah, that shit fucked me up. But you know, when you selling crack, you moving so fast. I really wasn't paying attention that it was a month that he didn't call me. You know, I'm serving mad fiends, so it's like I'm not really paying attention that it wasn't a month. So I'm like, he called me. It probably was like 3 weeks. He called me. I served him again. Now look what he do. He comes to my hood. Now that he got me it's police watching, taking pictures as I do this shit. So now once they seen it's me, they're like, oh, that's the guy from 3rd. Yo, go over to his block and ask for him and see if you can get anybody else to sell to you. So that's how he got Killer, a nigga named Prince. They got Killer, Prince. They caught a few niggas from my block like that. Like he came through, niggas being greedy. The Fiend nigga, the cop, because he was a county cop. He ain't even local police like that. We would know. It's a nigga from a whole different county. Like, so he comes and he'll be like, hey, y'all know where T at? And now niggas seeing he a fiend. Niggas like, yo, y'all seen T? He'll come to one of my niggas. Yo, you seen T? I'm not out there though. He'll wait till I'm not around or some shit. And he'll go to Cam. And then Cam got some shit. Like, oh, nah, I got you, though. What you need? Niggas being thirsty, trying to steal my fucking fiend. Everybody trying to get somebody off the nigga that's looking for me instead of calling me. I'm glad they didn't call me because that shit would have added up to more sales. I ended up with 3 sales. That's why I'd end up doing, like, the most time out of everybody on that shit. Yeah, that's why I end up doing the most time out of that shit. And, bro, what I made off of him, this is why I never would sell drugs again. Because what I made off of that nigga was nothing. Like, I'm selling crack. I wasn't selling him grams and shit, nigga. I was selling this nigga dubs. I was selling him dimes for dubs. Like, yeah, like, on some bum-ass shit. Like, so I probably only made, like, $80 off this nigga. And had to go do 4 years. Because he was a cop. So that's why I'm saying, like, I would never sell drugs again. That shit is not... I don't give a fuck if... Nah, I'm not doing. I don't give a fuck. Hell no. Never again. My fucking life. Never again.
National Crime Agency or soccer or whoever it was at that time, because
I was young then, but still,
I can't remember.
Never
It was
again.
called Operation Dreadnought. Huge. Without a shadow of a doubt, me and the guy from Still in the World had been seen at some point interacting with this lot.
And it's crazy too, right? Because all my life, fuck this cop too. He died too recently. Nigga named Hunts. Officer Hunts. One day, we chilling on the block smoking. This is all my niggas is home. We sit out there smoking. And this is probably around the time after, like, I just served the nigga for the first time. So, the first time I served the nigga was in, I think, it was in May. The first time I served him was in May. The second time was June. Then the last time was July. So, it was all like a month apart. Right? And then, like, June, the cop nigga came by. And we was sitting out there. I remember this day like yesterday. We sit out there smoking, just chilling. The nigga drove up and the DT shit. And he said, y'all enjoy y'all summer. Y'all ain't gonna be out here too much longer. And spent off. Just like that. I swear to God. That nigga pulled up on us. We was like probably 10 deep out there, just smoking, drinking. Niggas on the block. Young niggas back there. Nigga pulled up and said, y'all enjoy y'all summer, huh? So be our last one. This when weed was illegal and all that. Niggas ain't even fuck with us. We hiding the blunts and shit. He like, hey, nah, enjoy your summer. This will be our last one. That's what that nigga told us. We all got indicted. Nigga, we all got indicted. That shit was like a 38-man indictment. Word.
Because we were going up there 2 or 3 times a week. It's no way that we weren't seen. It's just a physical impossibility. So Kevin is getting ready to come and see us.
But he ain't served all 38 niggas because of me. He was serving other niggas in the city. It wasn't like all 38 from my block. It was me, Blake. It probably was like 6 niggas from my hood that got caught up in it. But it was like niggas from all over the city that he was copping crack from. So he was setting niggas up all over the city. We all got indicted. We all in the precinct the same day. Kicked everybody doors in, nigga. Niggas was wildin'. They was wildin'.
Friday night, we're sat at Marble Arch. We know he's on the way to us, and then we start not getting any response. He's not answering, and we're sat there, and the time's going by, and I'm starting to think there's something wrong. And I think it was the next day or the day after, we found out that Kevin had been stopped half a mile from reaching us at Marble Arch with 29 kilos of cocaine. Pure cocaine straight from the Medellin cartel in the boot of his car. 2 years later, in 2000, May 2000, like I said, I'm in the red transit van, and that was the crunch point.
What did they end up giving you in the end?
Well, after 6 days, I got remanded straight into Gloucester Prison. I get 5 years, sorry. That was the highest sentence out of all of us. They kept me on the book for about a year, which means that every time you come out your cell, they write down every movement of where you go. All phone calls recorded, all letters photocopied, given to the police. Really invasive. Strip searched every day, cell wrecked every day. It was like running into a brick wall at 100 miles an hour. Your life carried on, but you stopped. And like, yeah, you know, it's devastating.
How old were you at this point?
23-ish. I got transferred
He
from
was
Gloucester
good, though.
to
That's when I went
Parkhurst,
to jail.
straight onto the Isle of Wight. It's
22.
like, a bit like being in Alcatraz. So I'm in Parkhurst, heading towards being straight, and I come across an article about cocaine impregnation. I read about a shipment of cocaine that had come into Britain in a container, impregnated into plastic chairs, patio sets. White plastic patio sets.
Wow.
If you hadn't have known and you'd inadvertently bought a set, you'd have been sat on cocaine and you wouldn't have known. You would have had no idea.
How much cocaine can you get a plastic chair?
25 million?
In one container?
Yeah.
Imagine one day, right, you sit on your couch with your knife and you rip the couch by accident or some shit. Accident. Get a little hole in the couch and you see bricks in that bitch. I'm back in the game. Fuck all that shit I was just talking about. I'm back in the game. Fuck around, rip this shit open right now. See what's going on. Fuck you talking about? Imagine that.
Yeah, easily. That's
What?
I'm saying.
I'm in the game.
The great thing
Coach.
about this container, well, in my opinion at that point, was that no one had been arrested. They had no leads. They can't even see it. They can't find it with the X-ray, the scanner. I could see the future of cocaine trafficking. This was a very new thing at this point, putting it into plastic or rubber. I'd never heard of it before, and I was like, and no one's got arrested. This is wow. You know, I thought about it for a day or two, and then I got my co-defendants around me because they come down to Parkhurst as well, and I said, look, if at any point I decide to go back into cocaine trafficking, the only thing I really want to do is get a contact that can fabricate for us or impregnate cocaine into plastic or rubber.
You know, that might have been his first bid. Because after your first bid, you kind of don't learn your lesson. You kind of feel like you could do shit better. I feel like you niggas got to go do two. That wasn't my first bid where I was selling drugs. The first time I went to jail was some violent shit. We ain't going to get into that. But the second time was some drug shit. And it made me realize I had to grow up after that second one. My son came home like, yeah, if I'm gonna get back into it, we're gonna have to. nah, you gotta go sit down twice to learn.
And I said, well, look, if I ring you at any point, this is the guy in Stoke. I said, if I ring you at any point, you'll know why I'm calling you. So I get out of prison, go straight, paint and decorating, everything's going fine, and I'm just like, the daily grind gets you down.
Yeah,
There came a point, one particular day, it was my fuck it day, as I call it. One particular client was just being a nightmare, and I just had enough. That was it. I picked up the phone, rang the guy. I said, you know I'm ringing. I said, can you get me a contact in London for, like what we talked about? He said, probably. Give me a week or so, and I'll see what I can do. Hit upon one, seemed good. A Colombian and a Chilean guy who was selling coke, and I think he must have known that they were bringing it in and something about impregnation. So anyway, I go up and meet them. I said, actually guys, the real reason I'm here is because I want to start bringing cocaine in myself. We want to narrow the number of people down that we're selling to minimise the risk, bring in as much as we can, upscale it at the other end, narrow it down here, upscale it there. And they're like, yeah, you're making sense. As it happens, we're already bringing coke into the country. And I was like, really? Great. No wonder it's so good. We're bringing it in, impregnated in rubber, in tents. And I was like, this is just destiny. First one that we buy, we put 5 kilos of coke into a tent, into the ground sheet. And it looks a bit like the rubber of an inner tube of a bicycle. Like that sort of thickness of the inner tube. A bit like this. I'll lift it up. Much the same as that thickness, a bit thinner than that.
And that's all cocaine?
Yeah, so we'd get panels like this, and we'd stick it into the floor of the tent, glue that down, and then put the next layer of the ground sheet down, like the bit that you sleep on, the inner bit. So it's in between. They were manufactured in Colombia, and we would then. I did the first one because I wanted to make sure it came in.
You trafficked the first one?
I trafficked the first one, so I didn't want to start sending people to do something I hadn't done already. So I went out there, probably shouldn't have done, because I nearly got arrested coming back.
What happened?
So the first one we do out of Ecuador because it's close to Cali, and the guy from Cali had links to people in Quito. He had a network in Quito. So I fly out there with KLM through Holland, get to Quito, get to this like compound. There's this big metal gate, slides back. I mean, it's about 10 feet high. Walk in, slides shut again. I'm like, right, I'm in it now.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm not coming out. He gets out this big tent, and I thought, I need to be sure that the cocaine's in this before I fly back, because if I fly back and then discover the cocaine's not in it, they could say, no, you switched the tent. So I said, as best I could in sign language and broken Spanish, cocaine in the tent, plastic, can I taste it? Because I know it's going to make my mouth go really numb. And he looked at me, he was like, yeah, okay. So he's unrolled the tent, unpacked it, unrolled it, slit like the corner of the ground sheet, pulled out like that, the corner of the rubber, and I've chewed it like that, and my mouth has gone so numb I can hardly talk. I'm like,
that raw, nigga. You gotta do that. He's smart though. I ain't taking y'all niggas' word. This shit packed up already. Nah, let me see. You get back, ain't nothing in that shit. Niggas trying to kill you now.
I'm like the man from Del Monte says yes, but can't speak. So I get to the airport in Quito, and I bought loads of gifts for my family. Totally forgot about the luggage allowance. The tent weighed about 30 or 40 kilos on its own. I think it was about 40. So there, right before the KLM desk and the check-in desk, they're like, you got to lose some of this weight. You can't come on the plane. I'm like, well, I need to come on the plane. I have to. And they said, well, why don't you get rid of that tent? And I'm like, I can't. I can't. I said, oh, look, I'll get rid of some of these gifts. And so there I am, right before the KLM desk, running around to the shops and the restaurants, giving all this shit away to people that are working there, and they just think it's Christmas. Apart from the people at the KLM desk, that you think this is a drug trafficker. Sure enough, they're right. They get me on the plane, and I get to Holland, because you have to transit through Holland, and there's a row of drug agents there, plain clothes. Everybody has to go past one of the officers. And I'm at the back of one of these lines, and one of the officers looks down the line like this, sees me, turns to his mates and goes, points at me, and I'm like, oh fuck, okay, I'm getting stopped. Because bear in mind, I've not long been out of prison in Britain. I'm on my own, single male, all these little signs that they look for. And I get to the front of the queue and they say, right, can you come with us? We've got a few questions for you. They get me into an office. And they say, what have you been doing? Where have you been? Why have you been in Ecuador? And I said, well, look, I love archaeology. I've been out on holiday. This is where I know all these brochures and shit. I'm thinking any minute now, they're going to pull this tent out from behind the chair or wherever, or someone's going to walk into the room and go, bang! And what's this? It didn't appear because I checked it into the hold. And what saved me was, because this rubber thing was all new to them at this time, they weren't looking for it. They were looking for blocks or powder. And after 30 minutes odd of questioning, they said, oh, you're free to get your connection. I was like, no way. That's just too good to be true. There's no fucking way that they're letting me through.
Nigga was in there like this, shaking. Like, oh no, please don't find that shit. They're looking for blocks and shit. Where is it at? Yeah, that was smart.
True. You know, this is the point at which...
Good thing he ain't no bitch-ass motherfucker. A bitch-ass motherfucker would have probably folded, been in there scared, probably, nigga, you got all that shit on you, nigga probably in that shit. Panicking. Fuck around, tell on theyself, thinking they already got it.
I realised that we were onto something so good that I actually get stopped, questioned, and they still didn't find it.
That's
I'm like,
fire.
what the fuck, this is just, we can just carry on
crazy.
forever. So having realised this and realised that we're onto a good thing, we start sending passengers. straight away.
How many tents could a passenger bring over?
Oh no, they'd only carry one because it had to look right. It had to look like they'd been backpacking around South America and they were carrying a tent.
Niggas gonna start seeing tents every other week, nigga. They gonna be on to that. Like, yeah. Why is everybody bringing back tents to London? Why the fuck is niggas bringing tents from Mexico? Niggas gonna get knocked, nigga. That shit don't even, like, that shit gonna get hot so fast. You gotta switch it up at least. A tent this time, maybe something different this time. Like, that shit sound like, nigga, all right, everybody got tents. We gotta dig deep into these tents.
Each passenger would be carrying between 3 and 5 kilos of cocaine, at least.
Which amounts to how much money?
Well, the thing was that because it was so pure, by the time we turned it into cocaine, we would then cut it as well. So we were turning, say, 5 into 7 kilos. And then we were selling that wholesale, all in one go to one person at like 25,000. So you do the math. It was coming at about $250,000 to 300,000 each trip.
How much were you paying a meal?
10,000, 10 to 12,000. That was the fixed rate. And then we cover the hotels, all the costs, all the rest of it. We didn't lose a single passenger, not one. Not one in the whole time I was going. We were going to do 100 kilos. We were going to form a company, a couple of companies, importing camping gear, tents. I went out to Cali, to Buenaventura, the port city on the Pacific, with the guy from Cali, inspected 100 kilos of cocaine. It all fell apart when we were on the brink of upscaling it, and the Colombian got arrested in London in Crystal Palace. The police raided a lab. They'd been in there, broke the main rule, don't have your friends in the fucking lab. So they were in there doing coke, drinking, music blaring, like, you know, salsa music, cars pulling up, screeching, loads of people party in the fucking lab whilst I'm in Cali looking at 100 kilos of coke. Thanks for that. The Colombian gets flipped in prison. They threaten to extradite his family, threaten him with this, that and the other. He rolls. He became a police informant and he got released by them basically and went to work on bringing me down and whoever else he could. And cutting a long story short, I got arrested in Ecuador in September of 2005.
Damn.
Me and my girlfriend are at dinner in the hotel, and a guy walks in, sits to my right, European looking person. And I noticed as I'm eating dinner that he sat there reading the wine menu, but it's upside down. And I'm like, have you seen this guy? To my girlfriend, he's reading the wine menu and it's upside down. I'm like, he's definitely, you know, police. Leave the restaurant, which is in the hotel. As soon as I got up into the corridor and put the key into the door, all hell breaks loose and there's people running down the corridor with balaclavas on and machine guns out and handguns, pointed at us, screaming in Spanish, don't move, hands up, or otherwise we're going to kill you. I'm like, well, it's either the police or I'm getting robbed. It's one or the other.
Can't even tell.
Anyway, they take us into the room, go straight for the tent. They've obviously been in there whilst we're out at dinner, and they know it's in there, they know where it is, and they arrest us. So through bribing the judges.
That's how it usually happens. Nigga snitch. Nigga set you up. That's the same shit happened with me. I wasn't doing it at this scale either. Nowhere near this scale. With a nigga motherfucking nigga like my cousin, old fiend nigga, like family. You know, he set a nigga up. He got locked up for some shit. And to get out of jail, he started setting up mad dealers. Bitch ass niggas.
He's trying to get the sentence down because the British police wanted to give me 25 years, the maximum. I bribed it down to 12. The plan being, let the heat die down, bribe some more, get it down to 6, out in 3. I thought I was going to be out there pretty quick. I never expected to spend 9 years and about 2 months there.
What are the conditions in Ecuadorian prison? Describe it for me.
Well, I mean, seeing severe violence meted out just on the spur of the moment. I mean, people would just get shot in front of you sometimes, just out of the blue. And it was the sudden, unpredictable violence that was, you know, you'd be walking around having a nice day, quiet day, There were restaurants in there, shops. You could have your visits come into the wing, into the cell.
What?
You know, not like an English prison. It was very much different. It was like a small town contained within walls.
What?
And then suddenly someone would get shot in front of you in the sun, and they'd be on the floor dead, brains all over the place, guts hanging out, blood. And there's the smell of the blood I'll never forget. That is one of the worst things, that metallic-y taste in your mouth. So much blood. And yeah, I've seen people killed every which way you can imagine. Electrocuted, hacked to death, blown up, people shot in the face, shot in the head, decapitated. If anybody says, oh, how many? I don't know. I did lose count. I saw friends get killed, choked out, hung. English people get killed out there. Barbaric, mental.
What does that do to your mental state?
Well, it's pretty damaging mentally. Definitely ended up with severe complex PTSD. One of the worst things about the entire experience of being in prison in Ecuador was not knowing whether today I was going to die. Every single day for over 9 years, you were thinking, will I be alive tomorrow morning? Is this my last day on this planet? I don't know, because I really don't know. The second prison that I went to was in Guayaquil, and that was very different to Quito. And I was told when I went in,
He look like my boy, Drew Brees from the New Orleans Saints, the old quarterback. He look like Drew Brees.
into the prison, that if you spend more than 5 years in a prison in Ecuador, you're either going to end up dead, ill, or you're going to go mad. But you won't be coming out alive, or certainly not undamaged after 5 years. It's just not possible. And that was very true. At the 5-year point, I contracted TB. I went from 85 kilos to 49. I was sick with TB for 3 years and engaging in fights with people because I was selling cocaine and alcohol in there at the behest of the Choneros gang and other gangs that I got involved with. The gang activity in Guayaquil was much, much, much stronger. They had a stranglehold over the prison in Guayaquil, and anybody that went against them, they shot dead or killed. 3 directors of the prison were killed when I was there, multiple guards. The guards had less firepower in the prison than the inmates. I saw submachine guns in there, AR-14s, is it, the American assault rifle, Kilo C4 with electronic detonator. When I saw that, I was like, why are we still sat here? Why didn't you just blow the exterior wall? And they were like, oh, well, we're too busy fighting the other gang to escape. I was like, why didn't you just escape and just have done with it?
How are they getting these things into prison?
There was so much money involved in the trafficking of drugs within the prison. You think in this second prison, in Quito, for example, there were like 1,500 prisoners, normal sort of size prison, like in Britain. Get to Guayaquil, 8,000 prisoners spread across 24 wings. They were making millions in there.
So were the guards just
The guards were all paid off.
What?
And the directors.
So it goes all the way up?
Yeah, they even sold the people coming into the prison to extort them. So any foreigners particularly they would look out for. So the guards would know when a foreigner turned up at the reception in the director's office. They would then have a meat market, an auction. So all the bosses from the wings would go out, bid on who would get the opportunity to extort the prisoner. So they highest bid, they pay off the guards, pay the director. They then take the prisoner into a wing, into a cell, torture him, put a gun to his head, give him a phone. They will just bleed you dry and your family for as much as they can. The average intake price for them that they would extort, say out of a Russian who was connected to the Russian mafia, $20,000, $40,000, $60,000.
Damn.
If you didn't pay, they just cut pieces off you until you did. They just had this in their head that any foreigner was a cash cow, had money. One Spanish guy in there, I'll never forget, it was terrible. He came in, they tortured him solidly for over a week, and I was getting woken up by his screams. After I sort of got a bit of a rapport with them and developed a few friends, because that was the way to survive in there. Make yourself...
Yeah, it's different over there. They got guns in the jail, nigga. It's over. Like, that tough shit out the window. You ain't got no gun. Niggas in there got guns. They can put guns to your head. They can call your people. Tell them, yeah, we need this motherfucking cash app. Send that bitch over here. Yeah, send that bread over here, nigga. Send that fucking PayPal. Send something. Guns in jail is crazy.
of
It's crazy.
essential, crucial to them
They're
in
like,
the
"How I'ma get
operations
one?"
that they're carrying out. I made it very clear, no, I'm not a drug mule. I was running
What?
things. I've got contacts all around the place. I could be of potential use to you in the future if I'm alive. See what I'm saying? You make yourself supposedly useful to them so that they have a reason to keep you alive. Otherwise, you're going to get fucking extorted and probably cut to pieces.
What was the closest you think you got to death?
So yeah, I came close to death, not through TB, because I mean that was on a daily, but through getting shot or stabbed or killed a few times. One particular one that stands out is when a third gang came into the prison, which just, that was it, that destabilised everything. They were called the Choneros, and they are now probably Ecuador's principal gang. They end up on the wing that I'm on.
Some, them know.
Jorge Luis Zambrano, aka Rasquina. He was on the wing, he was the boss of the Choneros. I got on with them quite well, very well to be honest. I used to cook with them, have food with them, party with them, everything. I was selling coke for them. You know, they were friends at the end of the day. And then the Cubanos started getting pissed off with the situation, feeling threatened by them being their presence. So the Cubanos sent in a hit team to our wing. We get locked into the wing at 5 p.m. I'm looking around the wing and I'm like, there's hardly anybody out in the wing this evening. Normally all the doors are open, there's people getting high, there's loads of smoke and there's music playing. And I said, there's something going on that we don't know about. I don't understand, you know, why is nobody out? What are these people doing that just come on the wing? So this guy that had come in to basically kill as many of the Choneros as he could was called, his nickname was Negro Polia, which is like black butterfly or moth. And on this particular evening, like I said, there's all this hushed conversations going on. He's sat up in a hammock by the main gate with like his little group of come muertos, as they call them there, who are contract killers. Eat the dead. Come muerto, it means eat the dead. I've got Jorge Luis Hodeli, or Rasquina, living about 5 cells down that way, to my left, and his right-hand man, Gato. I go to get a plate from Gato, get the plate, and that's the opportunity that they were looking for. The door opens, and somebody comes up behind me, so behind my shoulder, and as I turn to walk away, and Gato's just standing in the door with the plate, he's obviously watching the guy coming as well, and I didn't see. The guys fired from behind me over my shoulder, hit Gato straight in the face, blew the back of his head out. And then another one, and yeah, I just ran. Normally when people got killed there, it'd be like, bang, 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 someone's dead, and you come out and see. This wasn't that. This was a full-on attempt at killing the whole lot, and there's about 20 or 30 Choneros on the wing. So all hell breaks loose.
Nobody had no gun on the other side?
There's things hitting my door. I'm thinking they're going to come through the fucking door in a minute. Sometimes they come around with a petrol bomb to smoke you out. If you wouldn't open the door, they either smash the door down if they could, or they throw a petrol bomb through that space and smoke you out and burn you out, or you just burn in the cell and die. 2 hours goes by, and there's 2 hours of gun battle, 2 hour long gun battle. And
Cap. I ain't going for that. 2 hours. Come on, man.
hand grenades going off as well. And sorry.
Thank you, Peter, for telling us this story. Thank you. Take your time.
Sorry.
Yeah, get your ass up out of here, nigga.
So after all these gunfights and everything else, and friends ended up dead and British people and whatnot, and the embassy just started freaking out because too many British people were getting killed. My family just had enough as well. The problem was with my sentence, there was a fine attached to it. So I not only got the 12, I got like a, I don't know, $7,000 or $8,000 fine. And in the case of you getting repatriated, you had to pay this fine before you went back. After 9 years and 2 months in Ecuador, my family paid the fine. I went, yeah, that's it, we've had enough. And a dedicated team came out from Wandsworth, who were tasked with repatriating prisoners from all around the world. Flew me back to Britain on a normal plane. It was a massive culture shock coming back to Wandsworth. Walking around the exercise yard in Wandsworth, honestly, I felt like I was in a holiday camp. And there were people in there almost crying, going, "This is so bad." I'm like, "This is fucking great. I'm not getting shot today. At least I'm pretty sure I'm not."
How did it feel when you were finally released?
When I eventually walked out of Wandsworth, I was like, I couldn't believe I was actually free. It was like coming back to a different country. So much had changed.
Yeah, you can't imagine going from that crazy ass jail to a regular jail. You walk around that bitch like the OG, like, nigga, what? Nigga, this shit ain't about nothing.
Changed in the time I'd been in Ecuador. You know, the internet, Facebook had become a thing, WhatsApp. Didn't even know what that was when I came back. I'm a strong believer in destiny, and I believe that everybody's got their path kind of written to some degree. I mean, there were so many forks in the road that I could have gone left or right, and I took a decision to go right. You know, I've been into schools and various other institutions to try and educate people so they don't go through what I did. Here I am today, luckily, telling you the story, and hopefully you won't do the same.
You've got to live and breathe this job. And I wasn't living and breathing it because I was living and breathing a cocaine addiction. Sometimes I'd run across to a pub.
Yeah, big up to him though, man. Stay away from the drug game, man. That's the message to everybody. It ain't worth it. It ain't fucking worth it.